Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the March 14th, 2022 special Whitehall-Coplay School Board meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please rise and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
to the
republic
republic
which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Malay, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Fonzone.
Present.
Mrs. Gogler.
Here.
Dr. Hartman.
Here.
Mrs. Cromer.
Here.
McCool is absent. Mr. Saloom.
Present.
Mrs. Schultz.
Here.
Mr. Shields is absent. Mr. Williams.
Present.
7 present.
Thank you, Mr. Malay. Moving on to recognitions and presentations, Dr. Steckel.
Good evening, everyone. We are here today for this special board meeting with the purpose of reviewing information about bids that were received for the new K-1 elementary school here on campus at the Whitehall-Coplay School District. We intend to provide you an overview with some refresher information about the actual project itself, talk about the public bidding process, review the bids that were received, and then provide some information to the board for what we are recommending as far as acceptance of bids and moving forward with the new K-1 elementary school project. Here today we have Mr. Behrens and Mr. Hanna from Breslin Architects and Dewey Engineering. They're going to provide us with some information, and we'll start out with Steve Behrens.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is an exciting time. This project is about nearly 6 years in the making, and it's been a pleasure to be part of that. I know you've seen information on the building prior tonight several times, so I want to give a high-level overview, refresher of the project itself. It is a new K-1 elementary school building, approximately 93,000 square feet. 2 stories to support education of about 700 kindergarten and first grade students. The building will house 14 kindergarten classrooms, 14 first grade classrooms, and 4 special education classrooms. This slide, in addition to a breakdown of those individual spaces, including the library, art, music, multipurpose room, and all those support spaces, shows a organizational diagram of the building in its simple format. It's a 2-story classroom wing and a shared use facility wing connected by a lobby in the middle, a central lobby that allows access and egress from both directions. Next slide. This is the project site plan. Shows you the position of the building on campus. It is a completion, if you will, of the arrangement of the school buildings around the campus green in front of the middle school and Steckel and Zephyr and the high school in the location of the existing district office building.
I think it's important that I just chime in real quick, Mr. Behrens. You know, the location and ultimately the approval of this new elementary school building certainly meets the needs of our program for students in kindergarten and first grade, but it also has a major impact on our campus as a whole. As Steve alluded to, it brings all of our schools around that central campus green, which is going to greatly impact us and improve traffic patterns throughout campus, safe drop-off of students, whether it be from buses or from parents. It also really allows us to fully use all of our schools for educational purposes. And in the long run, transitioning all of our central administration and support services from the buildings and into the existing Gockley building is going to provide opportunities that we can use every square foot of our school buildings for educational purposes. In turn, it's going to allow us to utilize the facility at Gockley to create some greater community presence on campus and provide various opportunities for students in pre-K through 12th grade. So it's not only is it an improvement for our K-1 program, this is an improvement for our entire campus and for our entire community.
Indeed. This is we have several more slides showing some details of the building. This is an exterior rendering As one would view the building approaching from the MacArthur Road direction, that's the main entrance there at the bus drop-off at the center of the image. And as you'll see in a moment, the library occupies that prominent overlooking view at this area. This is the first floor plan. So again, remembering that diagram, we see the two-story classroom wing at the bottom of the image, the shared use facility at the upper portion there with the multi-purpose room visible, exterior play opportunities, receiving and support spaces safely tucked behind the building. And then at the center there with the arrows is the main lobby with an entrance from the right-hand side from the MacArthur Road direction with the buses, and then on the opposite side off of the ample parking lot, the visitors and parent drop-off side. This is the second floor of the building. So the kindergarten classrooms were on the first floor of the academic wing. What you're seeing here are the first grade classrooms on the second floor. The library, again, as you can see over top of the lobby there, occupies a prime piece of real estate and affords a grand view out towards the campus green and towards MacArthur Road. And then again, additional shared use facilities, including the art room and large group room on the second floor. This is a view off the parent drop-off, the parking lot area looking towards the lobby. These are a few interior renderings. This is the lobby looking out towards the bus drop-off. We have, or rather, I'm sorry, the parent drop-off. To the right-hand side of the image is the administration suite, which has a commanding view and to be able to surveil the lobby. As you can see, there's opportunities for breakout and individualized instruction and taking learning outside the classroom here in the lobby. This is the view of a typical classroom, a bright, airy space, a lot of natural light coming into the space, appropriately scaled furniture and opportunities for teaching and instruction and integration of technology with the smart panel there at the front of the classroom, as well as storage components and storage cubbies for the students' items. This is the library. This gives you a little bit of a peek out the window there towards MacArthur Road as to the great positioning of this building. It's sort of the dream big view, if you will, and a very dynamic space where there's opportunity for reading, for instruction. It's connected to a maker space for project-based hands-on learning as well. And this is the multi-purpose room. So it functions as the cafeteria, which you see in the foreground here with the tables. There's the gymnasium phys ed component there, and then beyond a stage for performances. The room is subdivided by a large movable partition that can control the use and afford a lot of opportunities for large group gathering and performance and physical education in the building. And I believe that's the last one. I'll turn it over to Jim Hanna.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, everyone. So just to give you a little background on the bidding process, the bids were released in January. We had a pre-bid meeting in the high school cafeteria, which 28 contractors were in attendance, which is a lot. There was a lot of interest in this project. The bid opening was March 1st in the DAO, and we do have the project submitted for approvals, and we just found out within the last few days they're all ready to go and pending for the contractors to pick them up. So this is the contractors that gave us the best bids. The general contractor is Skepton Construction. The HVAC contractor is JBM Mechanical. Electrical is WindGap Electric. Plumbing is Vision Mechanical. And our controls contractor will be Johnson Controls. One thing I'd like to point out to this, these are all contractors that this school district knows. They've worked here before. They like working here. And they gave us very competitive numbers, which is a real testament to working for the Whitehall School District. As you can see, most of the project came in on budget where we thought it was. And then I'll just review the bids with you. Sorry, Doug. So the general contractor is Skepton Construction. The alternates we accepted was for a brick, an ad brick that fits in better with the concept that Breslin had designed. A bid to do sod in 2 areas. A bid to put synthetic turf in the playground area. An ad to do unclassified excavation. Then we took a deduct, which gave us a 30-year mod bid roof. So this contractor gave us a deduct to give us a 30-year roof instead of a 20-year roof. And then we took a deduct to remove some cubbies in the classroom area. So these alternates are part of the bid strategy that we've come up with to make sure that we stay on budget. So we put these ads in to say, let's just see if it's a wish list, if we can get what we want. And we did. And then we put deducts in to see if we need them for cost control. So one of these deducts was cost control, and one of them was something we couldn't turn down, the deduct to go for a 30-year roof instead of a 20-year roof. So the mechanical contractor, JBM Mechanical, again, another contractor who's worked here. He's worked in the high school, he's worked at the middle school. And we took a deduct alternate to take the Johnson Controls out of his contract, and we did it through a CoStarz contract. And that benefited us too. We made some money on that. The electrical contractor, again, WindGap, very familiar with this area. We took some ad alternates on this, and we took some deduct alternates. And this one worked out great. Taking the ads, we got what we wanted, and we took the deducts that helped us get what we wanted. And then the plumbing contractor, we just took the ad alternate to do unclassified rock for his excavation. Does anybody have any questions on those? We good? Okay, good. There's 2 potential ad alternates. One's to do a stormwater irrigation system for $162,500. That one, these 2 ad alternates, we have till October 1st to make a decision on whether we want to take them or not. We're probably going to take that stormwater irrigation, but we'll see what happens. And the contractors are required to hold their prices per the bid. There's some additional work that has to be done. We're going to do testing and balancing by air balancing engineers. It's $55,500. All of these were competitively bid, and air balancing is the one that did it for the less money, and we've used those before. They're very good contractor. So all in all, as you can see, the total budget, our Act 34 number was $40,285,800 something, somewhere around there. So we're $39,993,430. We have those 2 potential ad alternates for $727,500. The big one is going to be that storage shed that we may need or not need. We can make that decision at a later date. We'll get through the summer to see how the soil exchanges we got to do and where we are. And we're on budget. Our strategy worked.
So Jim, I just want to make sure we're at the number clear, because we're on camera here. So the total estimated budget right now is $39,938,435.
Correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Sorry.
That's good. And we're within our bond financing parameters,
Yep.
Okay, good.
So, we're asking you to take the vote tonight, and then we'll send out the award, the intent to award. The contractors will get their notice to proceed on March 28th. So we send out the contracts and an intent to award to all the contractors. Once the contractors get that intent to award, they need to provide us with the bonds, their insurance, all their qualifications to make sure that they meet the requirements in the specifications and they're providing everything we tell them to provide in the contract. And I don't see any of these contractors not meeting that requirement. And then after we get that back, we send out a notice to proceed. That starts the clock running. We want to get that notice to proceed out on March 28th. That's really a critical date. Construction on the site's probably going to start in April 2022, maybe even start earlier. Groundbreaking ceremony on April 11th, 3 p.m. The existing DL and storage barns must be vacated by the first week of May. That date is critical, that we get in there and able to do that and not hold up getting the foundations in for the new building. We want to get those foundations in July so that we can get pretty much of that building up before the winter comes. New school will be ready for occupancy in June 2024. Conversion of the existing Gockley to the elementary school to the new district office can begin in June 2024. Another critical date that we can make that flip in 2024 and start working on the Gockley to make it the new district office. All building and site work for the new elementary school to be completed by August 2024, and conversion of district offices will be completed early 2025.
So tonight, there are 4 motions under Executive Committee matters. The first motion is to approve the board resolution to award the contracts. This would be the contracts for JCI and the 4 prime contractors. And then there are 2 Plan-Con documents that would need to be approved. Resident Architects prepared the Plan-Con F and Plan-Con G related to the actual outcome of the bids. Those would need to be approved tonight. Mr. Behrens did review the framework for those 2 documents at the committee meetings on February 14th. And then the final would be from the business side of this project. This would be the board resolution to accept the bond parameters, essentially for the first $30 million of financing. Are there any questions from the board about anything that was reviewed tonight, anything in the bidding process, anything about the construction of the building? Okay. So, thanks, Jim. Thanks, Steve. We can move forward with the agenda.
Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Burley, is there any correspondence to the board tonight?
None.
Thank you.
Just for the record, Mr. Shields came in at 4:03 PM.
Do we have any public participation? Okay, without further ado, we'll move on to Executive Committee matters. 8A, resolution to accept bids and award contracts for the new K/1 elementary school. Approve the attached resolution awarding contracts for the construction of the new K/1 elementary school. 8B, approve the Plan-Con F for the new K/1 elementary school. Approve Plan-Con, approve Con F. Post-bid opening certification as per the attachment. 8C, approve the Plan-Con G for the new K/1 elementary school. Approve Plan G project accounting based on the bids for the new elementary school project as per the attachment. 8D, bond resolution for the new K/1 elementary school. Motion the attached resolution authorizing the issuance of general obligation bonds in the maximum amount of up to $30 million in one or more series for the purpose of, 1, financing the planning and construction of a new elementary school, the planning and renovation of the Gockley Elementary School into administrative offices, and other capital improvements to school facilities and school buildings owned and operated by the school district, and paying the costs and expenses related to the issuance of the bonds, and to accept the proposal of PFM Financial Advisors LLC as set forth in that certain proposal for the purchase of bonds, a copy of which is attached to the resolution for the purchase and sale of the bonds. And we are now looking for a motion to approve the Executive Committee matters 8A through 8E. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Mrs. Gogler,
Second.
and seconded Mr. Shields. Mr. Malay, please poll the board.
Mrs. Gogler,
Yes.
Dr. Hartman,
Yes.
Mrs. Cromer,
Yes.
Mr. Saloom,
Yes.
Mrs. Schultz,
Yes.
Mr. Shields,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Fonzone.
Yes.
8 yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Malay. Moving on to Superintendent's Report. Dr. Steckel, do you have any comments?
Just first of all, I'd like to congratulate the board for this afternoon's affirmative vote. This part of the process represents your commitment to the future of our great district. I would like to thank our design team, includes Dewey Engineering, President Architects, their consultants, as well as our personnel, specifically Mrs. Saylor, Principal of Gockley Elementary School, Phil Bankus, Supervisor of Buildings and Grounds, the entire Gockley staff, Mr. Malay, Business Manager. Your work over the years has certainly been instrumental in getting this project moving forward. I'd be remiss also if I did not thank the prior Board of School Directors. This project, as Steve had said, it's about 6 years in the making, so there are a lot of people that have been involved in this process, including former board members, and of course, Dr. Hackett, former superintendent of schools. I appreciate all of their effort. This project started long before my time in the district, but I'm very excited to finish what was started. So thank you to everybody for your support, and looking forward to a lot of great things here with this project.
Thank you, Dr. Steckel. Upcoming meeting dates. March 14th, a special board meeting. Monday, March 28th, school board meeting at 7 o'clock. Monday, April 11th, the committee meetings for education, student activities, and finance at 4 o'clock. And Monday, April 25th, special board meeting, school board meeting. Is there any other matters before the board that has come before anybody has any other comments? And just again, thanks to everyone involved with this project. It took a long time to get here, but we got here. Thanks to Dr. Steckel as the superintendent for all his efforts, and obviously all the administration for their efforts. Going forward, this is a great thing for this community. It's going to be a magnificent school and a great way for our kids to start off their education at Whitehall-Coplay School District. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Mrs. Gogler, do we have a second? Mr. Fatty. Meeting is adjourned.